I don't know if George has ever been more excited to do a watch review, and we've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah,
Have you been ever?
I don't think so. So every once in a while, you feel like a company heard you. You kind of put something out in the universe, and they brought it back to you. And when I saw this watch at Watches and Wonders last year, there were a few people. We did a live feed with the president of the company and all this stuff, and I was just champing at the bit to get a hold of this watch.
Yes.
And we finally have one here. This is reference PAM05218. There are 3 big epics when it comes to Panerai, eras, if you will.
Yes, okay.
The first one is going to be, of course, the World War II stuff. The second one is going to be pre-Vendôme. And then, of course, you have the modern era of Panerai. For me, pre-Vendôme's always been my favorite. There's just such a purity of form there. It's when Panerai wasn't necessarily under military contract, but they weren't owned by anybody else either. Right. So you saw this what Panerai doing Panerai. Panerai doing exactly what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
And that's when Sylvester Stallone kind of found him, had his character wear him in a few movies, blah, blah, blah. Most of those watches are military reference 5218. That was their code. And then after that would be a couple of numbers would follow. There was 201A, 202A, so on and so forth.
Right.
One of the most held aloft pieces from that era was PAM. No, it's not even PAM. It's just 5218, 202A. Underneath 202A, there's some other nomenclature. There's the four-liner, the Marina Militaire. So now you have 5218-202A, MM, four-liner. And then you have what they call the non-matching. Now, this is going to get in the weeds. Again, nerding out here. I'm sorry. These were still tritium dials.
Yes.
And from the factory, Panerai, in their wisdom, put a lacquer over the dial to tamp down the radioactivity. Radioactivity is mild. It's not dangerous, but it's there. What that lacquer did was burn under the radioactivity. So you ended up with this ochre color. So to the uninitiated, you would look at the watch and go, these must be service hands because the hands don't match the patina of the dial. In fact, that's original. That's how it came. Now, some guys sent their watches out and had the dials replaced.
Yes.
So you have these matching ones too. But those of us who know, look for the 202A non-matching.
So all the ones that are matching are post-service.
You would assume so.
That.
All these watches live a different life, and you will see vastly different patinas watch to watch. Overarchingly, you would be correct in that assumption.
And how many do you think of the original are out there? Now, we've been fortunate here at Oliver Smith Jewelry. We do a lot of vintage Panerai. I've seen it in person before. We've sold it.
Actually, I can give you the exact number if you want. We have that book.
Oh.
Yeah. Hang tight. Let me go give you the exact number.
Look how scholarly he looks.
So these are the ones that they've identified. What's really interesting is number 100 was transferred to Vendôme Group. Number 2 and number 11 were given to Stallone's entourage.
Oh, how nice.
Yeah, overall, about 140 pieces. How many are still around? How many have been abused, parted out? Really, really hard to say. So about 140 original. Looks like a little over half of that were non-matching. Okay. Then they kind of caught on to it and they started doing matching dials.
It's amazing that there were so few, yet in the Panerai history world, there has become such like a fandom and fascination over this watch.
Yeah, but when you have, 10,000 guys hunting down 140 watches, we kind of get voracious. So when they did this, it was literally like the clouds opened up and they did a watch for George. And I really do want to give a huge shout out to the outgoing U.S. brand president, Philippe Bonnet, because I really feel like this collection and a few others that he did were just a love letter to his love of Panerai for all these years. So Philippe, thank you for making this happen for me. And the Paneristi crew, man. I was fortunate enough to go to P-Day in New York this past year, and there were 5 or 6 of these floating around the room. The Europeans got them before we did. The new, and a couple of old too.
Yeah, I was going to say
it was pretty cool. There was a few times where you could hold one in each hand. It was very, very interesting.
How do you feel like it compares?
It's scary good to the original. If you walked in with this on your wrist, even a guy like me, I couldn't tell.
Wow.
You would need to take it off and put it into my hands. I would need to observe it a little bit closer. It is that
Turn it
good.
over.
Yeah. And I can see where some of the guys who have an original 202A might even be a little miffed about it.
Yeah.
It is kind of stepping on toes, but this is what I've wanted Panerai to do forever. It doesn't have to be this or that. It can be both. You can do the DMLS. You can do the Carbotech. You can do all this really avant-garde stuff. But remember your heritage. Remember where you came from. Every once in a while, Just a little nudge and a wink. Hey, remember this one? You know, and it just the nostalgia hit is just so good.
44 millimeter case shape, which is a classic Panerai size. DLC coated stainless steel case.
Yeah, which they nailed the color. It really is reminiscent of the old PVD and the pencil lead.
On the dial itself, the 4-liner, that's what George was talking about with the Panerai Luminor Marina Militaire.
Correct.
Not a sandwich dial.
No.
Applied luminescence.
Yeah, there is. So like the original wasn't necessarily a sandwich either, but it was cut out and then filled.
Yes.
There is a little bit of depth there.
There
like
is.
they nailed these little details so well.
It looks really good. And then non-matching. So you're still going to get the luminescence glow with this, the non-matching, not radioactive, not made with tritium, obviously.
The one thing I'm going to miss is that patina of wear that PVD has. PVD is relatively soft compared to DLC.
Yeah.
DLC is a vastly better coating, don't get me wrong, but again, all of those older models with the PVD have this like character. Each one's an individual because of how they've been worn.
And let's talk about the strap because there's a couple nuances. So first of all, you'll notice no taper. This is going back to the historic, so it should just be a 24 to 24.
Yep.
Sewn in buckle.
Yep, old
So
school,
the
baby.
Buckle is sewn into the leather. It is a pain to change, but that's okay. We'll help you figure it out when you get there. But it is sewn into the back, no tapering. There's lots of kind of vintage style straps that look like this, but I think it's pretty pure to the original.
Yeah, the color, I believe, is a little bit darker than the original. Comment below if you know for sure, because I remember the original matching the kind of ochre patina a little bit better. I think this is a little bit darker. If you know, send a pic. And like true to the Panerai stuff, the leather's relatively thick. So your initial wears, you're going to fight with it a little bit. Once it breaks in, man, it's going to be perfect on you. This beautiful patina, kind of an ochre color, whiter hands. It is going to be kind of difficult to get.
Yes.
They're doing 1,500 total run on this one. Access is going to be tough. If you want one, definitely reach out to somebody like me. Any of the boutiques, they're gonna primarily be going through the boutiques, not so much the authorized dealers.
Right.
Gosh, I hate to say this out loud. If you want one, put money down. If somebody says, "Hey, I can get you one," give me money down. Take the risk. Go ahead and do that because these things
They're
are
gonna be that hard to get.
white hot. Now, a buddy of mine was saying, and this is wild. I don't know how I feel about it. If you already have a 5218, a 201, or a 202, you could get this one as like your beater watch.
Yes, you could. Yeah.
A little easier to service, a little more parts available.
If you are that pure of a Panerai enthusiast, I think you should be on the list for this one. Yeah. Absolutely. This is a watch for someone who really cares about the Panerai history, wants something historically relevant, enjoys the brand in that way because it's going to be so hard to get. You kind of have to have a little bit connection there.
I mean, here at Oliver Smith, we have fairly prominent positions. I'm fourth on the list to get this watch at my store.
And he'll keep moving down, which is, the problem.
But yeah, I do want the right guys to get it, the guys who've been there, forever and really, really deserve it. But if one of them ever comes up, man, it's so going home with me.
We are big Panerai fans here at Oliver Smith Jeweler. We do new, we have boutiques, but we also do a lot of vintage and pre-owned. So head to our website, oliversmithjeweler.com. You can check out our live inventory. Of course, visit any of our Oliver Smith store locations. We are in Scottsdale, Arizona and Aspen, Colorado. Thanks for watching.